We're dealing with devastating security and humanitarian problems in this region, but our response is often reactive rather than preventative. The WANA Institute believes that if policies were based more on evidence and less on politics, we wouldn't be dealing with these challenges, or at least at the same level that we are.
If by 2030, 90 million people are to be displaced, 45 million in the delta of the Nile, and 45 million from Iran as a result of drought, then I think this region is heading for chaos and anarchy on an extraordinary scale. Everyone is thinking about today and tomorrow. Everybody is thinking about the problems that exist. Nobody is lifting themselves up to look to the future.
The WANA region is very rich in its culture, in its heritage and traditions, and a lot can be done where there's more collaboration, exchange of knowledge, exchange of experiences, what worked, what did not work between the countries themselves. And the collaboration can lock unlimited resources with the youth, and you look at the WANA regions, they're all very young countries with high percentage of youth, can unlock that potential and solve really urgent issues, unemployment, poverty, and that can only happen if we all work together with the regional aspect.
There are fora and there are institutions and structures that deal with this kind of collaboration at a national level and at an international level. However, in my opinion, it would be very important to focus on the sub-national level and to involve civil society stakeholders much more in this kind of process.
There are many international initiatives in the region, well-established foundations that have been working in the region for a long time. But the WANA Institute tries to represent authentic views from the region. You leave your title outside the door. You come in to talk as a human being on themes which are essential. So over the 5 years, we have decided to build a template on what I would quote as interdisciplinary eco-social.
There are three principal features that distinguish the WANA Institute from other organisations. The first is our interdisciplinary approach. The second is our belief in civil society as the missing link in the development chain. And the third is our emphasis on supporting a transition to evidence-based policy and programming.
To ensure sustainable development in WANA, what's needed is a critical mass of scholars, a critical mass of institutions, and a critical mass of think tanks that will try to overcome the current status quo of inability to produce quality research.
The WANA Institute has a very important role to play in bridging the gap between the practitioners' world and the academic world, and making sure that the body of knowledge and research produced from the region can really be put to good use and be put to the benefit of those who need it the most.
We're looking at rule of law, which is a very strong principle. We should look at access to justice, equality and equity. We're looking at the protection of the vulnerable groups, marginalized, and a very strong role for civil society. Any program should have a strong aspect of human dignity, human justice. And then it might take more time, more resources, but the results will be more sustainable and will benefit everybody.
In the past, there was a clash of paradigms. There was a clash of vision between the economic school of thought, which promotes economic growth, and the other school of thought which talks about environmental conservation. This imagined clash of vision now is being reconciled by the notion of sustainable development and green economy. What's needed to ensure sustainability in WANA region is to think of the big picture, to think of the hidden connections between water, energy, and food. And also to think about the ecosystem approach, how we can think of our institutions, our startups, our CBOs, our NGOs, and our human capital. How can we make sure that we're connecting the dots?
In my opinion, human security is at the heart of rights-based and pluralistic governance. It's a shift away from state-centered governments and state-centered policies towards ones that are much more geared towards individuals and their rights and their fundamental freedoms. Human security underscores the interlinkages between these different sets of freedoms and how the international community has really shifted in terms of its perspective on the sanctity of state borders and how human rights now play a much more fundamental role in defining what security is.
The time has come that we stop recognizing people as labels, whether Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Arab, non-Arab, and start focusing on citizenship for all. A sound knowledge base, a sound projection of policies based on a consensus of views in which people are enabled to participate in identifying their priorities. This, I think, is a shot in the arm for an otherwise suffering region, which sometimes feel that hope has been lost. So I think that we have a template of hope.